Alright, today we're going to be talking about my Black Ops 2 Die Rise strategy. And like I said in Buried, just a prerequisite, I'm aware there's better strategies, faster strategies, camping strategies that will get you to around 100 pretty quickly, but that's not what this is about. This is more for people who just want to kind of jump into the game now. I still know many people who just started playing this game and the Black Ops Zombie games in the last few years. So these videos are for people who are still trying to get into the game the proper way. You can get up to the more elite strategies later on when you're more advanced and you've been playing for a couple years and you have more knowledge under your belt. But at this point, you can see I grabbed the PDW, open the first door, get down here. Just want to build your points up. You want to get about, I don't know, 3,500 to 5,000 points before you get down to where I'm about to head down to. I like to get a little more, but 3,500's pretty much all you need. You just need to open the one door and buy Jug. So if you're lucky, Jug will be one of the first two perks you get when you get down here. And in my game's case, I don't think it was. So that's typical. Usually mine's the two furthest perks away, and that's fine. I personally don't really mind because I use Who's Who, so when I down, I just revive myself with Who's Who, and I don't have to go grab Jug again. So here's hitting the power. As you can see, I'm not using the bank or anything. We're grabbing this liquefier parts. I didn't show it all three locations for each spots, I should say, for each part. I'm just showing the parts in the spots that I found them. So each three parts I just grabbed there have three locations. This is the only one that doesn't move, the sock. So keep that in mind. The other parts will move around on you a little bit. And Jug, oh, it wasn't a good location. Never mind. So Jug in my game wasn't a good location, so lucky me. And Speed Cola, you see right there is a second perk I grab on round 7. And then after that, Quick Revive, and then of course Who's Who, which, I mean, you don't have to grab it because it's an extremely controversial perk. And depending on if you're playing online or not, which I'm not, you might have the Tombstone Perma perk, so you won't even really need Who's Who. My case, I do need it because I don't have the Tombstone Perma perk. I'm playing offline. So right there, I'm upgrading the AN94. It's all you really need. AN94, Sliquifire, Jug, Speed Cola, Quick Revive, Who's Who. And there's your setup. So I can just skip right to 25 because it's a pretty straightforward setup. I use the Buddha room. You can use plenty of training spots on this map. There's 3 or 4 that really work well. But for me, this is the most open and available. And when I feel nervous and worried, there's a lot of areas to just kind of cool off. I'm in the middle of a Shangri-La game right now, and compared to Shangri-La, just watching this footage is making me jealous of all the room and space that you get on this map in comparison. All this open space, and the Sliquifire, see, it does chain pretty well still. Unfortunately, you have to keep it out at all times. Doesn't kill any zombies if you pull out your secondary. It has to have your Sliquifire out as your primary. Unfortunately, they fixed that. Lots of things were downgraded on this map. This really was the high round map for BO2 for a while, where it was the easy one to get to 100 on. I mean, it still is if you use the camping spot, which just, it's not fun. So, I mean, you can do it if you want, like a 3.5 hour around 100 for most people that I see do it online. I've never done it personally. I've been tempted a few times just to say I've been to 100 on Die Rise, but I don't know. Is it really worth it sitting in a corner just to get my achievement? My highest currently on Die Rise is 74, I believe. This game that I'm playing in right now, the one that you're seeing the footage from, I got to 70 and just ended the game. It was like 5 in the morning, and I didn't have it in me. Which, in retrospect, I kind of regret. I maybe could have pushed 80 plus. Don't think I would have gotten 100 that particular game. I'm always the type of guy, when I get to around 80, that's just where I really tap out. I don't know what it is. It's those last 20 rounds where each round starts taking 15 minutes a round where I just I don't have the patience for it. And after 7-8 hours of most games, it just starts to get really tiresome, and taxing is a really good word for it. So now you can see I bump it up to around 35. And this is just same thing. Circular. You can move both ways. It doesn't really matter if counterclockwise or clockwise. Both ways work. And you get so many different areas to just jump, get out of the way. And only real issue is try not to shoot the Sliquifire too close to the edge, because you'll probably slide off. That's happened to me too many times to count on this map. where I've shot it closer to the edge, and yeah, it ends pretty badly every time. See, like, that's even close-ish. Want to keep it more middle of the room. You can see it's chaining, and you want to kind of get in the area where they're jumping down so it chains more. Ammo is kind of the issue on this map after a while, like every BO2 in one map, but this in particular, BO2 only has one map with a trap. I mean, you can count transit if you want, you can count buried because they have the buildable traps, but the only built-in traps on the map is Mob of the Dead's acid gas trap, the acid trap, and the sniper tower. Every other map, it's just basically fend for yourself and figure it out, and Die Rise is the prime example of you have one gun. Once you get to around 50 plus, you have one gun. The Mark II will do some damage, and the ray gun Mark I will kill some zombies, but yeah, you really have one weapon. Same with Buried. Buried, unfortunately, I forgot to mention in my Buried 1 through 50, it's round 70 that the Paralyzer stopped killing, which is why I, in my round 70 on Buried, was camping at 65, because even then it stopped killing efficiently. I don't know how I forgot to mention that. But in Die Rise, it's 100 for the Sliquifier, so it's another 30 rounds of usefulness. See, there's a max ammo. So now we're on 45. I did not down in this game once, which is pretty tough for me. I always find a way to fuck up on this map. So going flawless to 70 was pretty cool. I don't have any footage of 70, unfortunately. I don't know what I did. I don't know how I forgot to click record, but I do have some 67 footage, so we'll show some of that after. It's close enough, right? Maybe 69 would have been better to show off, because, of course, 69, but 67, good enough. And just gives you a good idea about how the strategy kind of works out at the high rounds. Now, 45 is high enough, but I still wouldn't qualify this as a extremely high round. Even 67 is not, but that's getting there. And on Die Rise, it technically is an extremely high round, because you can only get to 101 now, and that's with a boss round. Got to get it on 100. And this is the only map in BO2 that has boss rounds. So there's a lot of maps in BO2, and there's a lot of singles. Like, there's only one map with bosses. There's only one map with traps, so it's very weird for that. When you kind of sit back and think about it, it's very individually a different game, and I like it for that. Every map gives you a very, very different experience, so whether you like it or not, that's up to you. This map's grown on me heavily in the last couple months. I stopped playing Die Rise for years, and recently tried to conjure up the, I don't even know what the word I'm trying to find is, conjure up the urge to play it more often, I guess, because I never find this to be a replayable map. It's always Buried, Origins, and the Mob for me on this game, and like Town and Mooktown, and even Farm to a certain extent. But this is just, it's jumped into my top few that I like to play. Here's some round 50 footage. So you can see the ammo is just never really too dwindled. We'll see at 67 how much ammo I had. This map in particular, you get more max ammos than like Origins. I've been playing a lot more Origins recently, doing the Easter egg, and trying to get to 100, because every time I get to 70, I just run out of ammo. And then everybody tells me I have to do better gen cycles or whatever, and it's like, it has nothing to do with when the generator thieves come. I just can't get max ammos when I dig, when I use the tank, none of it. So this map, at least, it gives you max ammos. For the most part. And you can recycle your wonder weapon, and there's only, I think, 3 box locations, maybe 2. There's not very many box spots on this map. It's a big map, and there's not very many box spots. I think it's 3. And you can see it doesn't get much easier than this spot. Maybe Ascension's the only map that has a better training spot for size. Like, this is just so wide open. And if you down, it's basically because the Sliquifier kills you, where zombies just run into you and you get stuck in the sludge. It's pretty much the only... See, like, that's getting close. See how close that is? That is getting too close for comfort. So here's round 67 now. And, no, yeah, ammo was not an issue, I guess, at 67. I'm kind of surprised, to be honest. I thought it would have been more of an issue, looking back at this clip. I guess not. But, yeah, you can see right there, that's the kind of area you want to be shooting at, where they're jumping down and it chains right there. the good stuff. That is the good shit. So, I mean, I hope you guys enjoy these 1 through 50s. I'm not doing these, like I said, for the experienced zombie players out there. I'm doing this more for the people who are just trying to find a way to jump out of the map and learn an easier way to enjoy the map. Not have to do the most advanced stuff, you know, because zombies does get advanced as hell eventually if you get up to that point, but you just want to start out a little more slow, leisure. But that's basically all I've got to say. I don't want to sit here too long. I don't want this to be like a 25-minute video. So I'll just keep it nice and short to like 11 minutes like I have with all these videos. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Enjoyed making it. I think next will be Shangri-La or Origins. It'll be one of the two. So keep that in mind. Alright, we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.